Okay, so this is everything you're gonna need to change the batteries on a MX350 Razor. Here are the old batteries. As you can see, I think somebody already replaced them once, because on the other bike these things were soldered to the battery, and as you can see, these just easily came off. So what you're gonna need, a soldering iron, some aluminum, and then some paste flux, because I'm not gonna use these. I'm not just gonna put them on, I'm gonna solder them on so it holds on better and gets better connection. I got these off of Amazon. I think they were like 36 bucks. We're not gonna use these right here. We're just gonna solder the stuff straight onto the connectors. So if you want to, you could probably use these, but I'm not going to. I just wanted to add this in later. If you don't know how to solder or don't have a soldering iron, you could always just go on Amazon and buy the batteries with the harness already in them. But it's just going to cost you double the price of what the batteries cost you. Okay, so the first step would be to pull these wires off. But as you can see, they're already off because they weren't on there really good. Alright, so the first thing you want to do with these connectors is pull off this weather cover so it looks like this. So after you get the weather stripping off, since we're going to solder it on, you don't need this connector no more. So just use a pair of pliers like these and cut this off right here. Cut it off, and then use these wire strippers right here and strip the wire like that, so both sides look like that. All right, so you're gonna want to do this right here to this wire too. So all right, so after you're done with that, the wire should look something like this. So after you get the wires prepped, you gotta plug in the soldering iron, let it heat up, and take the new batteries out and set them up. So what we're gonna do is the wires that have the fuse, it's in here right here, they go to the negative and to the positive in the middle, so like that. And then this wire that has like this clip, it'll also go to the outer negative right here, and this red one will go to the outer positive. So they're going to be hooked up in series. All right, so when the soldering iron gets hot, you could check by putting some of the soldering on it, and if it melts like this, then that means it's ready. All right, so what I like to do is put like a bead of the soldering onto the terminal. You just have to be careful not to melt any of it on the battery. So like a bead like that. Okay, so when you have the bead down at the terminal, you want to get this wire, the one with the fuse, and you're going to want to dip the end into the paste flux. So now when you go to solder it onto the bead, it's going to stick to it. If you don't do that, it's just going to melt the solder, but the wire is not going to go into it. Okay, so you're going to want to heat up this bead right here, and now put the wire on. Now put some more solder on top. Okay, so you're gonna want it to look something like this. As you can see, it melted the plastic a little bit, but it doesn't have to be perfect. Just make sure it doesn't melt fully through the battery, then that's bad, but like this should work perfectly fine. And then we're gonna wrap some electrical tape around it to waterproof it. Okay, so when you wrap it with electrical tape, it should look something like this. And now I'm gonna do that to the rest of the three. So this wire goes here, and then these wires go to the negative and the positive. Okay, so here's the second one. As you can see, it's a lot better. So now I just gotta wrap it with electrical tape. All right, third one done. This is how it's looking. All right, so the fourth one is done. This is how it looks like. And I got the other three taped up. About to tape up the fourth one. All right, so now you want to put the batteries in. Just make sure this padding is here, and they should just go right in. All right, so when you put the batteries in, you plug in the clip into the harness until this clicks. So before you put this metal bracket to screw down the batteries, you want to get the cover that has the on and off switch, and you're gonna want to put this clip in and then connect these red wires, because you want to check if the dirt bike works before you tie everything down. All right, so you plug them in, you turn it on, and now you push the throttle and see if it spins. And as you can see, the dirt bike is now working. All right, so now that we got the dirt bike to work, you're gonna unplug these wires again, and now you're gonna put this bracket on with the two screws on both sides. All right, so you screw this one in on this side, and then you screw this one in on this side, and make sure you thread them on before tightening them so they screw in evenly. All right, so when you screw both sides in, the batteries should not wiggle. If they wiggle, that means they're loose in there and they could get damaged while you're riding. So just make sure when you shake them, the batteries don't shake. All right, so now all you gotta do is put this plastic cover on and screw in on the screws. There's one down there that we unscrewed to take it off. And also, don't forget, there are the nuts that go into the plastic right there. Okay, so now before we put the seat back on, you're gonna want to do one more thing, and that's unscrew this chain cover. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 screws, and you want to undo it so you could clean and lube the chain. Okay, so when you unscrew those 5 screws, the cover should come off just like that. Okay, so with the cover off, this is the motor, this is the chain that goes around the sprocket, and here's the tensioner. You always want to check all of this. As you can see, this chain is in pretty good condition. There's no rust or anything. Looks like it was actually changed pretty recently, but we're still gonna lube it up and clean it a little. Okay, so to clean the chain, you're gonna want to turn on the bike and then get some WD-40 and a wire brush, and you spray some WD-40 on the chain, and then you twist the throttle so it spins, and you get your wire brush and you just rub it against the chain kind of. This one isn't too rusty, so you don't really need to do much, but just like that, and that should be good. Okay, so before you put this plastic cover back on, check for the tire pressure. As you can see, this tire is flat, and with this cover on, it's harder to reach. You have less space. So you just find it and pump it up. All right, so if you don't have one, I recommend buying one. This is a cat jumper box. It has the jumper pliers, and then it has the air pump in it. So we're about to pump these tires up, and I think they need like 40 psi. Okay, so when you have it hooked up to the tire, all you got to do is press air, set it to 45 psi, press air again, and it's gonna start pumping up the tire. And don't forget to pump up the front tire too. All right, so after you pump up the tires, just screw in these 5 screws again. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and the last one, 5. All right, so the last thing you want to do is throw on this cover and put the 2 screws in the back. Like this. All right, and the last one is on front over here. All right, so after you tighten it down, don't forget the cap. And after that, you're all done. And this is how your Razor should look like. Also, I'm gonna throw on a zip tie because this doesn't have the spring to hold it up. So we're just gonna zip tie it. All right, so I put the zip tie on, and now the bike is ready to ride.